Okay, so this is my first post on mental illness awareness, and I would like to focus on personality disorders. I would like to dedicate this post to my incredible friend Noel Brown, who we lost last year to a brain hemorrhage, and he had BPD. I've written about Noel. Noel was known as the comeback kid, and I met Noel on my first admission in Laurel Ward in Queen Mary's Hospital. Noel had just lost his mother, and he was like a walking oh bless him, he was like a walking encyclopedia of pharmaceutical medications, psychiatric illnesses, one of the most incredible people I have ever known, and I love him dearly, and I miss him beyond words. I'm going to try and keep this concise, constructive. My aim is to bring about awareness, hopefully write articles, get severe mental illness debates in the news, to bring about funding for the NHS to treat personality disorders or mental illness. But firstly, I would like to say I feel that personality disorders are a separate entity. They are kind of a category of their own. Firstly, my view of psychiatry is mixed. Being an old soul, psychiatry is known as a pseudoscience in the medical profession. The origins of psychiatry, which I've learnt about reading Cracked, Why Psychiatry is Doing More Harm Than Good, by James Davis. I learnt how psychiatry came about and how the DSM came about with diagnoses. I think if you look at other cultures, the way that mental illness is dealt with, shamanic healing, that there are so many ways, also looking through history with the way that mental illness has been dealt with. But we are in the 21st century and we have a lot of work to do, so I'm going to do my best. You can read countless articles, medical research papers, Wikipedia page on personality disorders. The statistic that I came across is that 40 to 60% of psychiatric patients show signs of personality disorders. To name a few: borderline personality disorder, which is what Noel was diagnosed with. I know a couple of people with BPD. Obsessive compulsive personality disorder, antisocial personality disorder, of which I know one person who displays all the symptoms of antisocial personality disorder, APD, and narcissistic personality disorder, which is an epidemic. The amount of narcissism in our society and the people that I have come across with NPD, it is astonishing in today's day and age. The interesting thing on YouTube of people who actually admit to NPD, the diagnosis of NPD, and what they do to deal with it, is the first step. Personality disorders are a spectrum. Most diagnoses have a spectrum. Therefore, you can have narcissistic traits, but not necessarily full-blown NPD. Let's start with BPD. borderline personality disorder. I don't know if any of you have seen the film Girl Interrupted, but Winona Ryder's character was diagnosed with BPD. It can be you can show signs of this in early childhood. You can be diagnosed more commonly in early adulthood, but you can equally be diagnosed later in life. I think the first thing I would like to say about people, I do not have a personality disorder. I have never been diagnosed with one. But like I say, we are all on the spectrum, all of us, in regards to mental health. I hope I get better at this. It is not your fault if you have or have been diagnosed with a personality disorder. It is often due to parenting. It can be due to severe trauma. I also am interested in genetics, DNA, ancestral DNA, environment, as in schooling, sibling interaction. If I was trying to learn about, so I acted at school and I went to drama school, and I am interested in method acting, and I think the key to understanding someone or a character or personality is to try and step into their shoes, their mindset, and then, their mannerisms. But understanding someone's psyche, I would holistically like to look at their origins pre-birth. I'm also a believer of past lives, so I feel that past lives and ancestral DNA can actually play a huge part in this current life. That is my current philosophy, but I am open-minded and willing to accept other people's opinions and points of view. Borderline personality disorder. Often with the parenting, you could have one parent who is kind of unconditional with their parenting and fully kind of adoration and loving and supportive, and another parent, for example, the mother, is fully loving and supportive, and you can show signs of conditional parenting. And then, for example, the father, you could have issues with the child. And it is a unique combination of parenting that can often establish the personality disorder. It is a way for people to cope a bit. And the personality disorder I have always been most interested in, and have read books and watched films and done a lot of research in, is DID, formerly known as multiple personality disorder. It is now known as dissociative identity disorder. You can look up videos. People are have portrayed DID in films, but actually DID is related to often severe sexual trauma, sexual abuse, physical abuse, domestic abuse, and so the brain alters different personalities. You can have a kind of I can't remember the exact terminology, but a major alter, a dominant alter, but you can have other alters. So these DID, multiple personality disorder patients, have different personalities as a way, and it is their brain, a way of coping with the trauma that they have been through. In BPD, you often see signs of multiple suicide attempts. With Noel, there were many suicide attempts, but Noel was unique in the way that he would bounce back. He would bounce back and physically train, so he was strong and tough, and he would personally train other people. He also had addiction issues, so he would go to the anonymous meetings. He played football. He he studied, he